I think today's episode is going to be interesting, but we can't talk about that. No, I don't think you can.
No, I think I can. How did we end up here?
Yeah.
From how it started. So
yeah.
Again, I just mostly wanted to leave all the time.
Yeah.
I just mostly didn't want to be there.
Yeah. All of us can't win, and we're going to beat each other. We're going to lose. So she kind of has to deal with, like, feeling happy for one, but then, like, feeling the loss for the other. Oh, I can't even think about that. It was horrible. I just want the camera to be on Katie right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Hey guys, welcome back to Stop Talking Kenz. I'm very excited for today's guest. Please help me welcome my mom. She was actually very highly requested. I don't know why. I don't know why people want to hear her perspective.
I don't know either.
But a lot of people asked for her to come on, so I had to beg her because I think she prefers to be behind the camera than in front of it.
I do.
But look how much better she looks than me, because I came from dance. Your lashes look good.
You want to know what's weird, though? Because I had eyelash extensions for so long.
Yeah.
That when I got them taken off, I didn't have any.
She looked really funky. And I wanted eyelash extensions because she had them and they looked so good.
Then I had to get Latisse. And I think what's weird is that when you put Latisse on your top eyelash, it must trickle down a little bit to the bottom eyelash.
I just want the camera to be on Katie right now. Katie's sitting behind the camera.
I remember. And she's
dying. Yeah, Katie has to be behind the camera because we need someone to make sure it's like rolling and everything. Yeah. She's literally cracking up. It's hilarious. Okay. So I think today's episode is going to be interesting in the sense that my past 3 episodes, I've had people on that are dancers currently, right? And my mom has never been a dancer ever in her life. What have you done?
Oh.
The very polar opposite, huh?
I did. I played softball my whole life.
Not dance.
A lot.
Yeah. So she really didn't know anything about dance when we started. So I think that's what's interesting, because how did you end up with 3 girls who literally all dance? And like so competitively. It's not like this is like our after school extracurricular.
Right. No, it was against my better judgment for sure. I know when you guys were like 3, I did the quintessential put you in ballet costumes, and my best friend Zoe's girls danced. So I let you go with them to dance, and you just like, they sent me pictures of you guys like hanging on the ballet bars, just hanging from them with your feet dangling. And I thought that's exactly what dance was. Like little kids went in a room with a really cute outfit on and hung from the ballet bars. So good. We did that. It wasn't a class. It was just, you went with them one day, and I thought I had done what I needed to do for dance. But I crossed paths then with, I was at the hair salon, and there was a woman in there who had just been hired to take over the Detroit Pistons automotion team.
I don't even know the story. Like, I don't know where this is going.
You were really little still. And she, I showed her pictures of you guys because that's what I did. You know, that's what moms do. And she said, she was like, it was just a cardinal sin that I didn't have you guys in dance. Well, of course she felt that way because she was a dance team coach. And she had an assistant named Oscar. And she said, she just begged me. You remember Oscar?
Yeah, I feel like we should like insert the video.
Oscar. She said, please just let them work with Oscar. And I thought, there's no way you guys are going to work with Oscar, right? You're going to cry and be scared, because the twins were just really
little. And they little.
Yeah. So, it was like a Sunday afternoon. I took you
hip hop
studio, let you go do hip hop with Oscar, with giant sunglasses on. And that was kind of it. You just really wanted to keep going back.
It's like so weird.
I tried to coach softball.
Yeah, she was like the coach of our softball team. So you would think like we would be like the favorites on the softball team, right? So that's what we would want to keep doing. Nope.
I mean, I had you in batting cages.
Yeah, we did. That was what we would do. We'd go to batting cages and like practice our hit.
And then like you would go out for an inning and you would come back and they would bat. And then the inning would be over, and I would be like, okay, you guys go back out. And you were like...
Was I good, though?
You were like, no, I just went out. I'm not going out right
But
now.
was I good?
No, you were good. You were good until someone ran into you.
Yeah, I remember. I was on, like third
shortstop,
base.
And somebody ran into
Yeah, and I fell over.
Like, I'm done with this. I don't want to play this.
I don't get dirty.
I don't want to play this anymore.
Was I better than the twins?
And I was so embarrassed because I was like, get up. Just get up.
Yeah, I have this problem of like falling over and laying on the floor for a while.
You wouldn't get up and you were done. You weren't hurt. There's nothing wrong with you. So I was like, well, I can't live vicariously through my kids, which is really what I wanted to do desperately. And none of you allowed me to do that. So that's how you guys ended up in dance. And I will say,
It was very like self-inflicted.
I think that it's best that way.
Yeah, because she'd be a crazy softball mom.
I would have been a crazy softball mom, and the expectations would have been so
A lot higher,
And
yeah.
I think that not knowing anything about
Yeah.
was so helpful
Yeah.
for us in the beginning. Because, oh my gosh, do you guys remember? So we signed up, like we went to just take, it was like you go and you take a ballet class, a tap class, and a hip hop class in 45 minutes. 15 minutes.
Speed round of
And
each.
you like change your shoes in the room. You had to take all your shoes in the room with you, remember? And then I was like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then I remember like they like emailed me and said, oh, we just want to put, Mackenzie on the competition team. And so it's just going to be an extra practice. And I was like, whatever. Whatever. I didn't even really know what it was. Care. So I remember that they put you on that team, and then I remember they like sent out an email with this schedule, and the competition was the same day as your first communion. And I remember emailing back and saying, we can't go to that one.
Yeah.
Because Mackenzie's making her first communion that day. And it's so funny because they were like, what do you mean you can't go? Like,
it's not optional.
Yeah, it's a team competition. Like there's group dances, she has to go. And I was like, oh no, we just can't. Like we can't make it. And looking back now, I realize how
imagine telling your studio director you can't go to a competition.
To them,
yeah.
But I was so illiterate with just the facts of dance that I didn't understand why they got so mad at me when I said that you couldn't go. And I remember being like, well, I'm not canceling her first communion, so I don't care what you do. And it was car, and I remember they just waited for you. They like held all the dances.
I got like a car crown, remember?
Yeah.
I won title.
You did win title, but then they waited for us to get there, and I still remember it took me a very long time to understand why they were upset and what that meant. And I think those days were probably the best days.
Yeah.
Because
the little you know.
Like you got a gold. And you wore
at Nouveau, remember?
Nouveau gold.
So proud.
Weekend.
So proud.
You didn't have it on. I think I had it on. Because we were so
proud.
Excited and proud and happy.
We had no clue what it meant.
We didn't know anything. But that's what the love was.
Yeah.
Like there was just no knowing what you didn't get.
Yeah.
We only knew what you did get.
Yeah.
And then that was enough.
Like gold to us was literally first place. We had no clue.
We had no idea. No idea.
Yeah,
we
I remember. Yeah.
I still have it. I still have the little thing that's because
I was so proud. And then everyone else was like DJ pick, whatever. I probably was the only person who got a gold.
It was like Nouveau my amp.
Yeah, and like Brady won, Brady Farrar. Everyone was so good.
I mean, so
that's crazy.
Say, like, the less you know,
the better. Yeah.
You just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that was really healthy and good for us, I think.
Yeah. I feel like now it's not even like unhealthy. I feel like we found a healthy balance between like doing it for the right reasons, and then when we get too competitive, she reminds us of why.
No, I think it's because I'm not afraid to like pull you from it.
Oh yeah.
I think that like so many times parents are so determined for their kids and invested in them winning.
Yeah.
And I was such the opposite because I didn't like dance that much, and I didn't like you guys doing it that much.
Any day she'll be like, you can stop dancing.
I would get mad. I would be like,
stop dancing then.
Like, you guys aren't doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I think that really like leveled it out, where I was always like, life comes first.
Yeah.
and then dance.
Yeah.
And you have to be a good human first.
Yeah.
Before I'm going to let you go all do all these dance things. So yeah, I think that me not knowing was probably, that was it.
I think the twins and I have it very interesting because not only are we competing against our friends, but we're literally competing against each other. And I know that is literally hard for her too, because all of us can't win and we're going to beat each other. We're going to lose. So she kind of has to deal with like feeling happy for one, but then like feeling the loss for the other. Like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you can't imagine because you've lived through it.
Yeah. Okay. But like,
I think that,
it's like
that was the worst part because we really didn't even want the twins. We didn't even let the twins have solos their first year because we didn't let them compete against each other because we thought it was awful. It was the most unhealthy thing ever for them to be twins and be competing against each other. It was terrifying. And then when we did finally let all that happen, there was no way there's one winner. So there's no way to celebrate one's victory. And at the same time, that means two of you lost. Yeah. So
I feel like between the three of us, it's always fluctuated a lot. So that's like kind of how we've balanced it because one of us doesn't win always, right?
It's still terrifying though. Do you remember Radix Nationals the first year?
Oh my God, we all three were top 10.
Katie gets called first. She's the very first one.
Cameron in the middle.
Get up and leave the room. And then Cameron gets called fifth, and you're the oldest. So then I really am probably already halfway out of the room because I don't even want to know what's going to happen. And then you got called very last.
Very last.
Looking back now, you know they did it that way so that you were
split up, right?
The improv line, and you weren't all together.
Yeah.
But as a parent sitting in the audience, you have that one moment of you're like, 3 out of the top 10 kids are yours.
Right.
Hooray. But also,
and this is when like
for all of us.
There's no way.
People are going to come out of this crying.
Yep.
And the one person that doesn't cry is going to feel bad for the other two people. And then I don't know what to do. So again, I just mostly wanted to leave all the time. I just mostly didn't want to be there.
Yeah. I don't know, like we're all in the senior division now, like competing against each other again, because last year we had like a break from it, and I definitely like it because I'm the one that like, I'm like so excited to watch the twins, and like I get nervous for them, honestly, more nervous than myself probably, but I don't know, I don't like it, but I mean, we've learned to deal with it since literally the mini division, so I feel like it's something we just like, in its life, like you're not always gonna win.
No, somebody's going to beat you even if it's not your sister.
Yeah. So I mean,
of course, it makes a harder car ride home all together.
Or plane ride. There's been many plane rides crying from conventions, like for sure.
No, it's the Uber ride.
Yeah.
Like Mackenzie crying in one of the Ubers.
It was at Radix Nationals
saying, like,
when I was a mini.
Just please don't cry in the Uber.
And he was like, "What the heck?" And then she got like a 0-star rating because.
No, it was the time that when we got out at the airport. He got out of the car and he like came up to you and he was like,
"Are you okay?
You can do anything you want."
Yeah. There's been like many Uber drivers who give me like inspirational talks after we get out of the car.
Yeah. So those are always tough. But I feel like the next day, I mean, it's over. Nobody remembers.
Yeah, no one remembers. It's literally a dance competition. I don't know why it's gotten so competitive over the years, but
I know.
It's crazy.
It better in the early days when it was really just.
And like we were going to like shows. No, we've never even gone to Showstoppers. Like car.
Yeah.
We were big car people.
Yeah.
I probably still have my crown. Oh yeah, and Michigan. So like think of that. California is so much different than Michigan. So speaking of that, how did we end up in California? 8 years ago. Now it's our 8th year, I think.
We weren't supposed to be here that long.
I remember just being so conflicted on what to do.
I know that. So we came out for the summer. It was the summer before we had gone to Hollywood
5
Connection.
Oh, Hollywood Connection, because Cameron won
like
Icon of the Year, whatever. Yeah.
And so in winning that, all 3 of you had gotten signed with
MTA.
And MTA at the time was pretty big. It still is big agency in California. And so I remember getting back to Michigan and having them reach out right away, and said, "Hey, look, get the girls back out here. Summer's just starting. Get them back out here. We need to get them on auditions." And I remember Dad and I being like, "Oh yeah, it's summertime.
Like might as well.
Perfect time for us to be doing this because during school, how are we gonna do it?" So I remember we came out here and They did. You guys we were going to so many auditions and reading for things, and
yeah, I was like,
I remember you were like reading for
like acting things
and just like really
not even dance things, like acting things.
And so we got an apartment. I remember we got an apartment because we were like, okay, if we're going to be going back and forth and booking jobs, we need a place to stay because hotels are so expensive.
And we did do the Project 21 summer intensive when it was like Molly X Alexa that year.
That year you did the intensive.
Yeah.
We had an apartment. And we were like, our plan was actually just to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Because I had talked to the school, and you guys had went to a private school, and they were like, it's perfect. This is the perfect time to do it. They're young. Like, you can keep up with their schoolwork, and you can go back and forth.
Yeah.
And so we had an apartment, and I remember we were swimming in the pool, and
I was like, let's go to the
blue. Literally out of nowhere. You were like, Dad, will you take me to the
Project 21 audition? The twins were like, we're not getting out of the pool. We're not coming, so you have fun.
We're swimming. It's hot. We're not. You go.
I remember he like took me to Discount Dance, and I got this like bright green top, like just for the audition.
Yes.
Like,
because it was like literally an hour before.
So spur of the moment.
You were gonna go audition. And so, I think that you went. You made the team.
I don't know how. Like, I literally swear I asked Molly this daily, like, why did you accept me? Because it's not like I was good, but she's always...
You had, like, that fire, though. Like, she just saw...
She can tell.
Potential in you. And I think that's what she looks for.
Yeah, potential.
Somebody that has that potential and that fire, and that she knows she can train anyone.
Yeah.
Right?
She's good.
She just, like, saw that in you. And, I think that we definitely didn't move out here for Project 21, but I think Project 21
was like
changed the trajectory of how long we stayed out here.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have like moved out here fully if it wasn't for Project 21.
Right. I think
we would have like went back and forth on like a couple weekends a month, but because of Project 21 that like fully moved us here.
Decided to stay, but we did say we were going to
only for a year. We were going to be like get good, like
we were going to get
good and then go back to Michigan and then like be the superstars in Michigan, right? But that's literally not what happened at all.
Because it was just you. It wasn't Katie and Cameron because they didn't audition.
But they were on project that year.
Remember, like, we went to the parent meeting you and I did, and then I was like, went up to Molly after the meeting, and Katie and Cameron had gone to the Project 21 intensive, like, weeks prior to that. So I remember walking up to her after the meeting and introducing myself and being like, I have two twins. They were at your intensive. Like, I figured she would know who they were. She had no idea.
Because we literally were nobodies.
And I was like, can they just practice? Like, because practices were only 2 nights a week for like 2 hours. It was just like
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Like Tuesday, Wednesday for like 2 hours.
Maybe, yeah.
So it was just like very little time.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, can Katie and Cameron just practice with Mackenzie? So I'm not, like, logistically, I'm out here by myself. I can't drive them to places. So can they just, and I remember Molly looking at me and being like, they can, but if they become a distraction,
then they're out.
Stop. And so I remember, like, the first day of telling them to, when they went in, I was like, you be on your best behavior. Listen, you follow the rules, because if you're, like, in the corner twirling around, you're not going to be. So I remember that they just started practicing, and then they came home one day and
we're in groups. Yeah, Molly just like told them during class. I remember they were like, she was like, "You're just gonna be in Dance Like Your Daddy," and they were like, "Okay."
Dance Like Your Daddy.
And then it started with that.
Like, put you in the back corner or whatever. Just put you, like, I'm just gonna put you in it, like a test, whatever. And then they just like did it. So they were on. Yeah.
It's so crazy that they didn't audition the first year.
Just everything I feel like happened in our life, kind of just none of it was planned.
None.
It all just rolled and snowballed, and then we look where we are now and look back and be like, how did we end up here?
Yeah.
From how it started.
Yeah.
Because it was just never the goal.
It
was never the intention.
It's crazy.
And I think once you started with Molly, that was it. She got you so excited about dance, all three of you, that you were just all in at that point. There was just no reeling you back from that.
Yeah.
You were just so excited about the potential of dance and how it was making you feel. that's when I had to start learning like what a plie was. Then I was like, okay, well that's it. I guess I have to figure. I still don't really know a lot of the terms.
The twins and I quiz her sometimes. We'll be like, Mom, do you know what a dégagé is? And she'll be like, I don't know. But like, she's definitely learned more over the years. So now let's go into a day in the life of when we like first moved out here. I was like 10. The twins were like 9. So like, what would a day look like for us?
Those were crazy times because we lived in a tiny apartment.
Yeah, we did.
Remember, we used to have to like put the groceries in a wagon.
Cameron and I shared a room.
Pull the wagon.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
The apartment because you couldn't carry the groceries from the parking garage because it was so far from where our apartment was. And I think it was really hard, mostly because you guys were auditioning so much. We were driving back and forth to LA.
Yeah, we were homeschooled.
3 or 4 times a week. So I spent all day
in the car.
The project schedule was great because it was just like 6 to 8, 2 nights a week. So we could be in LA all day and then come home and still make it to practice 2 days a week. So that was fine. But I think it was really overwhelming. But I do also think that because we did that while you guys were little, that you grew out of it.
Yeah.
So many kids, I think, want to move to California when they turn 18 and they want to audition.
Industry.
And the things. And I think that because you did
we experienced it.
That you guys all grew out of it. And I know that you did because every time we get called for an audition now, you guys say no.
It's mostly the twins. The twins like literally get direct booked for so many things. Like so many twin like shows.
They won't even go.
Yeah.
Just like no.
And then you know what I say? I'm like, can Loyola and I do it?
No.
We're always like, and then she's like, no. We always say that.
I think it's awesome that you kind of, I mean, the things you did though, like
Dancing
with the Stars,
Modern Family,
Fresh Off the Boat.
I wasn't on Dancing with the Stars.
Like all the, I mean, like
some really cool things.
That fulfilled you enough
to
be like, and actually also the perfect time to do it because you were under 18, so a parent by law had to be on set. So I was always there with you to make sure nothing was happening.
Set is really fun.
And set is fun. And so I think when you're older again, your parent doesn't need to be there. It's not as much fun.
Probably not.
It's not work because you're doing it to pay your bills,
right?
To pay your rent. And it kind of changes the dynamic. So we probably also did that at the best time without even knowing it at the time. To work through that, and you're done. Now it's like you're going to graduate and you don't want to go move to LA and you want to go to college.
Yep.
So kind of again, think we just did that the right way.
Yeah.
So that everybody got what they needed to get from it and can now just go into college and not feel like they missed out on something.
Yeah. Sometimes when the news is playing on in the morning, I ask her if I could have a talk show. I want it, but
after college.
Right. College is the focus for sure. But yeah, I do want a talk show. But I was thinking more like I just straight up take over Ellen, not like I start my own.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, no, I think you have to start your own.
Yeah, I don't think Ellen knows me.
No, Ellen doesn't know you. If she was going to let someone take it over, she already would have by now.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be me.
It wouldn't be you. No.
So we're going to fast forward like 4 years, and we've invested a lot in dance, right? As we have talked about. So the twins and I, we hit that point where we were like over dance because of situations we talked about in the twins episode. But what was that like for you? Like hearing that and like us coming home from dance every day being like so mad or like begging not to go.
No, that was hard because that was the first time you guys ever didn't want to go to dance.
Yeah.
You would think, because I didn't want you to dance to begin with, that you guys saying that you were done with dance would have just elated me, but I think it was a little bit gut-wrenching because of why you didn't want to dance anymore. It wasn't because you just, decided you didn't like it. I think that would be different. But I think when it's coming from a place of someone's making you feel that way, that was very hard as a parent to deal with. To work through. Yeah, for sure.
So I lived it, so I know how it all went down, but why don't you go into how we worked through it to end up back where we are and loving dance more than ever?
Well, I think that you guys had to work through it. There was really no way for me to work through it for you. Once you get to a certain age, definitely as a parent when you're little, I'm making all the decisions for you, right? I mean, that's just the way it goes. And you think you're doing the right thing. You never know if you're doing the right thing, but you think you are at the time. I think, though, once you get to a certain age, I can't make decisions for you. Yeah. I'm not in a classroom with you. Yeah. I'm not hearing or seeing or feeling or experiencing the things that you're going through. Mm-hmm. So I think that I turned a blind eye for a little bit, for maybe too long, because I know you guys wanted to quit a year before I actually let you quit, because I said I felt like you should try to work through it. You're not always going to get along with everyone in life, and I think those are good learning lessons, to be in uncomfortable situations. So I think that I maybe should have jumped in a little sooner, but I wanted you guys to be able to get into situations that you were able to work through and talk through and compromise through. Yeah. And when I saw that wasn't happening, and I saw that I think it was definitely just the phone call that I got from another mom one night that said that you were in the parking lot crying and she didn't want you guys driving home. It was that night that I called the teacher and said, we definitely 100% should quit right in this moment. Yeah. But we won't. Yeah. Because we'll finish the year, but then that's it. That's going to be it. And it didn't matter anyways, because by the end of the year, there was no one teaching. It really was irrelevant. There wasn't anyone to even tell that we quit, because no one was running the program. But that definitely was the moment where it was like you guys had tried to work through everything you could work through. Mm-hmm. And when other parents were just like, please just don't let me go through this anymore. That's when we decided that it was the final straw.
Yeah. So was it hard for you to tell Molly that, like, the twins and I were literally begging to come back to Project?
No, it wasn't hard for me at all. I love Molly. I've always loved Molly. I think when we left, I sat down with her face to face and really communicated my thoughts to her about what we were doing and why we were doing it. And she had invested so much in you guys that I felt like I owed her that. I definitely, needed to give her the respect of acknowledging that she had made you into completely different dancers. But when we saw her at competitions, I always hugged her and smiled at her.
It was never
it was never weird, I don't think. And I don't think it was strange. So no, it wasn't hard for me to call her and say, look, the girls are in a place where they're either just going to stop dancing or they're going to, want to try out again, because we weren't going to go look for a new studio. Competition wasn't that important at all. Yeah. It was just going to be either you kept training silently. Yeah. Or we compete. So if she would have said no, then
I can't even imagine. I would have cried.
You would have cried.
I'm like so
called her out.
Yeah, I would have been like, Molly, no, please let me back on. Yeah. So I'm getting ready to go to college. I'm the first daughter off, and I think it's gonna be weird for all of you guys when I'm gone, because I'm literally like the glue.
I would agree. I think it's gonna be weird, especially because like you drive the twins to school and you drive them to dance.
Yeah. It's probably going to be weirder for them than you.
It's going to be, because they're with you.
Yeah, like they're not even going to know like what direction to walk in.
Dance.
Katie's rolling her eyes.
Katie's like, I don't know where to go. I think, it's going to be so strange. You guys have done every single thing together since you were born, so it's going to be really weird. I mean, guess it will depend on where you're at. Yeah. Like if you're close by.
And I'm like living at home still, then nothing's going to change.
It would be great because you'd still be a part of all of it. And if you're far away, then it will be a struggle.
Okay. Thank you, Mom, for coming on to my podcast. I know people are probably have more questions now that you've already came on and they want to know more. So comment them down below and we will definitely bring my mom back on. She'll have to get ready again. Yeah. But hey, and also I really like your sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, my Stop Talking Kenz.
It's so cute.
I do kind of rep your merch all the time.
I know, because they're so comfortable.
It is, but I'm also just really proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you, not just like because you have a podcast, but just because like you're a good human, and I'm proud of you. I think you're gonna go far in life.
Thanks. You should remember that when you're mad at me. Okay, Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know who you want to see next on the podcast. And if you have any more questions, we love you guys. See you next week.